First of all, if you could, just tell me what systems is this game coming to?
So right now it's actually on PS2, PS3, 360, Wii, PSP, and DS.
Pretty much everything, then.
Pretty much everything, no PC.
How long has it been in development?
About 2 years.
And who's the team creating it?
So the team is actually a mishmash. Jonathan and I come from the Sims world. So some of the management team comes from Sims. A lot of the team comes from previous Godfather, previous James Bond products, all EA people for sure. We actually have outsourcers, of course, but we even have people as far away from the Madden team and some guys from the LA team on Lord of the Rings, some guys from the Vancouver team on Need for Speed. So we have a really interesting team that's kind of a cross-culture. It's one of the first teams we've seen that's all these different cultures and disciplines meshed together. So it's a pretty new team.
Great. Can you give us an idea of what the game is about? What do you do as the player?
I can't, unfortunately. One of the things we can tell you about the storyline is that we told you the one reveal of being that the Simpsons realized that they're licensed out to a video game. The rest of it we actually are going to kind of reveal over the next few months. But basically, the Simpsons start off a few minutes into the game. They're like, oh my God, we're video game characters. In the story of our life, what can we do? What can happen? And you can figure out where the storyline goes from there.
So as far as the teams go that you guys took from, does that have anything to do with what style of game is it? Could we see some parodies on other EA products, like a little bit of Need for Speed, Wink, things like that in there?
So the benefit I can tell you is that because we have such a broad plethora of stuff to look at, we can tell parody from anywhere. I mean, the Simpsons show, 400 episodes. Think about everything they're doing. Think about what tonight's, the episode for the 400th season is even about, 400th episode is about. I mean, they look at everything that's current. Even the show that was on Sunday, you actually saw Jameson sitting there actually yelling about wanting more pictures because they even ripped off Spider-Man 3 because it was pop culture and current. So that's one of the things we're trying to do is saying, how do we stay current, even with a game that's 6 months away, how do we actually get current pop culture references, game references, cliches, everything we can put in there to kind of riff on everything that's EA and everything that's not EA. So yeah, there's anything we can do to poke fun at ourselves and the industry. It's just, it's an open season for us. It's so much fun. And the writers love it also, so it's a hell of a lot of fun for us.
The game seems very sort of episodic, just kind of what we can tell right now. Are you guys planning any downloadables in the future where you can maybe, maybe release something to coincide with one of the TV storylines?
What I can tell you is the game is set up in that episodic way. When we have this big storyline split into 4 chapters, episodes per chapter, and the way you go through the storyline is episodic. So certainly the technology is there for it, but there's no formal announcements about anything we could do for it.
Can you give us an idea of how the different versions might differ? For instance, how will PS3 look compared to Wii?
Yeah, it's actually a good question. We looked at every platform and every piece of hardware and actually customized our technology and, in fact, used unique technologies for some platforms. So looking down on the PSP with this high-res VGA screen, it looks really cool. I mean, you're like, oh my gosh, I can't tell what that is. Looking at it on a Wii and a 360 and a PS3, looking at the next-gen hardware and what you can do, including the controllers, looking at how you can interact with a Wii or how you can interact with the DS, we redesigned parts of the game to fit perfectly with those platforms. So you look at it, you'll get that storyline, you get these thousands and thousands of lines of dialogue we have that are all original for the story, but you actually have different ways to play with them on the different systems.
Can you speak just a minute about how much story is in the game?
How much story? So certainly, as Matt Selman, the head writer, actually alluded to, we have over 55 minutes of linear content, meaning just storylines, IGCs, in-game cinematics, as well as cutscenes and FMVs. So we have all this stuff that just tells this incredible storyline, and that's just the cutscenes. Inside the game itself, the characters are always talking to each other. So when you actually go into Springfield, so I'll reveal that to you, there's a Springfield you can run around in kind of like a hub world. There actually are all the people from Springfield there, and they're talking to each other. They're just kind of wandering around as citizens you can play with and interact with. So there's this massive amount of content that is side stories and little side missions and pieces of history. I mean, we call it an interactive fan museum. The idea that you go there and you say, oh, I've been to this place, or I've been inside of that tavern, or I know it should be there, or that looks like a crusty sign. And seeing all this stuff, we just know fans are going to love trying to find all the things we've buried inside of this game for them.
Now you talk a little bit about parody in the games. I'm kind of interested as far as like inspiration goes. What kind of things we're already seeing a little bit in the demo? It seems like you've got the good like kind of hop-in co-op that's maybe taken from like Lego Star Wars games of that nature. Kind of the rolling around thing is very throwback to things like Marble Madness, Katamari, stuff like that. Can you talk a little bit about like where you've drawn inspiration or how much of the industry was not only made for parody but also for inspiration for the game?
Sure, I mean, I would love to. We were actually talked about not revealing any of the secrets. What I can tell you is if anything's been out on video games, be it arcade, be it on a console, be it on a PC, it's open season for us. We actually took advantage of anything we could. They assigned us our own lawyer to the project to make sure that we weren't crossing any legal boundaries. So it's a matter of, we looked at this very seriously, and I mean, I can't even imagine how many months we spent in a room with the writers, with ourselves, with the dev team, saying, here's all of our favorite games. What can we, what element can we pick from one? You heard Matt reference, there's the word Metacritic somewhere in the game. What does that mean? So we looked for ways to try and incorporate what makes sense. We don't want it to feel like you step into something, you're playing some schlocky version of an old style game. Anything that we've done, anything that we're actually alluding to from the parodies, are all part of this world and actually are integrated with the Simpsons fiction.
Great. Can you talk about the cooperative mode just for a minute?
Sure. The biggest thing, like I said from the beginning, was looking at it's a family show. We want this to be a family game. There's been a huge popularity, and you guys know the games better than I even do probably, of what's out there right now. You want to jump in and play co-op. From our side, we wanted this to be something you can sit on the couch, you can grab the second controller and you're at your friend's house, no matter where they are in the game, what episode or what moment they're in, hit the start button, boom, split screen, 2 characters, you can run around together, you can do everything you need to, help somebody through a mission, or oh, this is too hard, here we'll switch controllers or switch characters, and I will go through this part, you go through that part. So we wanted this to be that kind of pick up and play experience, and also have that co-op. So if you're done and you want to leave, you hit start button and you pop out, it goes back to AI taking over for that character and back to single screen.
Is this game going to have, say, online cooperative mode?
So right now we are not planning for online. It's a matter of cooperative on what we call couch play. So you can sit on the couch and play together on the same screen.
Okay. And who can we play as in the game? I think you revealed 4 today. Are there going to be more playable characters?
Right now we're focusing on you playing as the Simpsons family. I mean, Maggie actually is playable as well, so I didn't mention her specifically. She doesn't have necessarily a dedicated episode for her to play in, but the 4 main family members plus Maggie, so all 5 of them.
Okay. Unless you guys have anything else, I'd just like to sum it up with, why do you think people should be excited about Simpsons?
So looking around us, I mean, looking at why we're here tonight, 400th episode of the show. It's 20 years old. It's been here for that many years. People have grown up with this. We've grown up with this. As a team, we look at it, and it's funny, and it's fun. And, this favorite dysfunctional family and the things that they've gone through. You look at somebody in your family like, that guy's a little like Homer, or that person's kind of like Lisa, or this person's kind of... So you can actually go through all of this stuff, and there's something alluring and something attractive to, I know these people in some way. So getting into that feels like, wow, okay, there's some way I can tie myself to that world. And it's going to be funny and fun. That's why people love the show. So hooking us back into the gameplay means now you can actually interact with those people. Now you can actually go into that world and not only see them on the TV show, but now you can actually interact with them. You can do the things you want to do to make them react the way you expect them to inside of this world.
One final question for you.
Sure.
Any chance they're going to throw old school gamers a break and put the old arcade game in there as an unlockable?
I will not answer that question.
Really? Is that a good thing or a bad thing?
I don't know. You tell me.
All right. All right.
Thanks very much, man.
My pleasure, guys. My pleasure.
Cool.
It was great seeing the game.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot, man.